The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Andre, man, you've been killing it, man. Fury Pro grappling, the scene, you've been killing that scene. You got a win over Phil Hawes, and then you submitted Eric Handers. Are you just trying to cement yourself as the best grappler in the middleweight division? Is that what you're doing?
Absolutely, man. That's I'm just trying to keep further improving my point, especially with the Maximov finish and then Anders, and Phil Hawes. And then this is another one. This will be another feather in my cap. It's a Brazilian black belt with submission wins. So it's good. It'll further prove my point that I'm the best grappler in this division.
Let's talk about that Maximov fight, man. You predicted a first round submission. You got it. Did you watch the fight back and listen to the commentary? Because I thought Michael Bisping, what he said was pretty interesting.
It's been a while, but I did. Why? What did he say?
He was saying that you guys would end up canceling out each other's grappling. Like right when he was saying that, the fight went to the ground and you submitted him. Right before that happened.
Nah, he is right though. A lot of times when you get two good grapplers, sometimes they end up standing and trading the whole time. But which is kind of what you saw with Bilal and Sean Brady this past weekend. But nah, definitely not in that fight. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I think you were asked in the post-fight press conference if that submission. Actually, the position you like that position. Did that position come almost like too easy for you in that fight?
Yeah, it definitely came pretty easily. Like that's my shit, the whole front headlock shit. But I knew that he had some bad habits, some bad tendencies from his shots. I just didn't think. He shot early, which is what I didn't expect. I thought he was going to want to stand and trade a little bit more, but it is what it is.
Definitely, and he had a lot of hype surrounding him. Because of who he's connected to. Yeah, and that could be somewhat overbearing, man. Could you feel for him a little bit, man? Just because that pressure it's on him. All the time. He's probably being asked about it continuously.
Yeah, for sure. And you could tell, like when I watch his interviews, sometimes I could tell that someone's in his ear saying like, "Yo, you got to say this. Yo, you got to do more of this. Yo, you got to do more of that." It's like, yo, just shut the fuck up and let the kid, you know what I mean? Like, let him figure it out for himself. But I guess, I don't know. I guess if that's gonna get that fan base behind him. Yeah, I don't know.
But you got to win fights, though. At the end of the day in this game, if you don't win, nobody really gives a fuck.
Yeah, I hear you. 100%. Yeah. But he had, leading up to that fight, he was 3-0 in the UFC.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much derailed now. He's lost a few now. And he's suffered a bad injury as well. I feel for him.
Did they ever come out and say what exactly... Like if his knee was torn or not?
No, I haven't heard anything, but you could tell, man, that he was in pretty bad pain throughout the whole fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it.
Now, who would you consider like your peer in the division when it comes to wrestling?
Man, I don't think there's really many wrestlers in the middleweight division, to be honest. What do you mean by my peer?
Like, who is at your level with the grappling and the wrestling?
I don't think anybody, honestly.
All right.
I think there's guys that have good jiu-jitsu. Hermanson, Vittori. There's another kid, Andre Muniz.
Yeah.
I think they all have good jiu-jitsu. And I think that there's some okay wrestlers in the division, but nobody has the combination of wrestling and jiu-jitsu that I have.
Andre Muniz, man, is that a guy that you look at and it's like, that's a fight that's going to happen?
Yeah, fuck yeah. fuck, man, I've been watching this dude break everyone's arm. He catches that arm from the fly. Yeah, I watch everyone, bro. I've been scouting this division for so long. Like, I watch everybody. Yeah, I know what everyone's doing. Yeah.
Now you got 3 straight victories, man. All finishes, even with no time to prepare. I believe one of your fights, it was like what, 3 days or something like that. You had to jump in there.
Well, the Abu Dhabi one was 10 days, so I guess that
Okay.
was notice.
What changes have you made after Tough, man? Because you seem like you're fighting at a whole different level.
Yeah, I mean, I put a lot of emphasis on the conditioning aspect nowadays. Like in the past, I was lifting a lot. Like I would do a lot of like strength training and stuff. And I've just kind of shifted it, especially in camp, to more of like, I started getting into like biking a lot. We do these like 30, 40-mile bike rides and just kind of picking up hobbies that are more like endurance based. And I think that has opened up my game a lot. And I just continue to get better in the gym, honestly. Like, keep continuing to work on my striking, continuing to evolve my jiu-jitsu, my grappling. And, man, we have so many tough guys in the gym. Like, right now, even when, everyone was gone for Sean's fight, they were all gone for, like, 2 weeks. And I still had, like, studs, Jeremiah's there. Randy Brown is coming down and training with me all the time. Manny Morales, Eddie Torres. So there's so many good strikers and good guys. This area is just awesome. So I just continue to get better.
Who do you work your striking with mostly?
Yeah, I'm with John Marquez and Eddie Torres and Jonathan Webb. Yeah.
And what have you seen in the last year or so with your striking? Like, what has been your most improved? Like, is it in your footwork? Is it in hand speed or just combinations? What is it?
Honestly, I think most of it's just like correcting bad habits that, I kind of had to pick up on the fly. When I started fighting, at the time, I was a Division I wrestler, so, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu at this school, and I would do gi in the morning and then no gi at night, and that's all I did. I just trained jiu-jitsu, and then this kid at my gym. So I ended up taking a fight, like, with no striking, really. And so I kind of just had to pick up, like, the striking on the fly, and that comes with picking up some bad habits. So, going back to correcting those habits and then really falling in love and figuring out my style of striking, it's just, yeah, it's been good.
Has it ever been frustrating? You know what I mean? Because when you're learning something that doesn't come to you as second nature, it can be there can be lots of obstacles.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially like, I've worked on certain aspects or maybe like certain footwork with one coach, and I'm just like, damn, I'm not getting it, and like I keep making this mistake, and then, you might work with a different coach and he just puts it a different way. He says it in a different way, and all of a sudden it clicks, and then you start making that correction, and, all of a sudden it makes sense.
For sure. Wellington Turman, man, your next opponent, the most experienced fighter to date in the UFC. Thoughts on his fighting style and the matchup?
I mean, he's definitely a tough kid. He's young, comes from a good camp. Like, he's got good coaches. I spent some time with those guys out in Abu Dhabi because Glover was the headliner on that card. So, I mean, he's surrounded by good people. I just think that stylistically, like, I'm just a terrible matchup for really anybody, but especially him. I mean, I'm faster than him. My striking's better than him. My grappling is proven to be better than him. My wrestling's better. Like, yeah, I just think all around I'm a better fighter.
The advantage on the ground is probably the most clearest advantage. With that said, I mean, do you feel like the development of the striking, you're going to be able to test more things out on the feet?
Yeah, absolutely. Even like, I'm not even gonna say just for this camp, but for the Maximov camp too. Like I've been working on so much stuff just the past year, right? So all the stuff that I've been working on for the Maximov fight that I didn't get to show any of because the fight ended in a minute. You know what I mean? So all that stuff I've just been further working on it, and I feel really good right now. And I know that everyone says that before a fight, but I do, man. I feel really good, especially in the stand-up right now.
In that fight against Maximov, it did look like you wanted to strike with him. You know what I mean?
That was my plan. I wanted to strike with him, but I just didn't. I could tell he didn't want to be in there, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's get it." But then he shot right away, so that's my bread and butter. But, the finished in the fight comes first. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's a knockout or a submission, but.
Well, I think as a fighter, the lesser you show, the better. Because when it's time to show it, it's a surprise to maybe your opponent or just to everybody in general, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, shit, I know damn well. I've been studying Wellington. I've watched every single. There's so much. He's got 6 fights in the UFC, so I've been watching him, and I'm sure he's getting involved in and working on his shit too. But yeah, there's a lot for me to study.
When you just took out Maximov, who was like raised by the Diaz brothers, who are known for their ground game as well, man. And then you got Wellington, who's being coached by Glover, who is probably one of the greatest. Where do you rank him as one of the greatest submission artists in the UFC? Do you think he's like top 5?
Damn, you put me on the spot here.
Well, you got Oliveira, you
bro,
got guys
honestly,
like that.
I don't think I can say that.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say Oliveira, obviously. I gotta say Ortega. I would say Ortega's ahead of him. Yeah, no, I could name a couple more. Who has he submitted? He did the belly down, rear naked on Hyon.
Mm-hmm.
Who else has he submitted?
He's submitted quite a few guys, but yeah, it's mostly like club and sub type situations, or he's just top control and then he's just beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, I watched him. I like Glover. I like watching him, especially like in that. I think it was the Anthony Smith fight.
Yeah,
he was doing some stuff on the ground that was pretty good. But yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good dude, man. I was happy for him when he won out in Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Well, you got Daniel Gracie, man, and what does he say about this matchup?
Daniel loves this matchup. Yeah, Daniel's high on me, and I can feel it. Like when I'm with him, I can tell. I always get he's like, yeah, like he. Even when he was away for 2 weeks and he came back, like he's like, yo, you look good. Like, yo, you feel good. Like, I like what I saw today. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. So I know me and Daniel are good right now.
He doesn't really like get the spotlight. He should, right? But eventually you guys are going to start fighting for titles and stuff, and he's going to be pushed into it, right?
Well, as well as all our other coaches too that don't get as much credit either. Yeah. But yeah, we're getting there. Like we put Philly on the map, like no doubt. Like especially in the past 2 years, like, and like I said, like I'm honored to be a part of this first wave of guys from Philadelphia that are staying here and gonna fight their careers out in Philadelphia. Like in the past, like I love Paul and I love Eddie, and I'm fans with both of them, but they left, you know what I mean? And we're staying here and we're fighting here and we don't have to leave our families. Everything's here. So, and that's showing other people too, like, yo, we don't have to go to Florida. We don't have to go to American Top Team. Like we can stay right here. Like there's guys getting work here and we're getting fighters in all the time. Like we got a group of Russian guys in at the gym right now. They're just beasts. Like we're getting new guys in. Like our team's getting even bigger, even better. So, yeah, look out for us.
Yeah, for sure, man. And even the Dawkins brothers, they're doing their thing out in Philly themselves.
Yeah,
so you guys have a nice little wave going through.
Yeah, that's the weekend. That's Saturday.
People, man, they're expecting a lot from you. You know what I mean? Because you have 3 straight finishes. What do you envision for yourself in this fight against Wellington?
A finish, man. Like, everybody knows my style, like 100% finish rate. Never been to the judges ever. Like, And that's what you can expect from my fights. Like, on the feet, it's exciting. Grappling exchanges are always exciting, and I always come out to finish.
One last question, man. You keep asking for an international fight. I remember after the last one, you're like, let me, I forgot where was
Singapore.
the location? Singapore. You wanted to go to Singapore. They didn't give you that.
But it was too short notice.
Yeah, but next year, February, there's 2 international cards, one in Korea and one in Perth, you know, the big pay-per-view, 284. Any of those entice you?
Absolutely. I've never been to either, to be honest, but yeah, absolutely. I love, look, I mean, I got in this sport. I want to travel the world. You know, I want to see as many things as possible, have as many experiences as possible. So, absolutely.
Yeah, man, do your thing. November 12th, man, UFC 281 in New York City. Appreciate the time, man. If you guys want to know more about Andre, go download the AllStar app in the descriptions. Thank you so much, man, for the time.
Appreciate it, brother. Thanks for having me on.